Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Coach Prime made himself extremely clear after the UCLA game in his post-game press conference that this offensive line would get a lot better in the 2024 season. He was going to bring some new faces in. It took him about 48 hours for him to start making that happen as he lands commitment from junior college transfer Issiah Walker Jr. from Butler Community College. And this is a guy that kind of an interesting story. Was in the 2020 class out of high school, was a top 200 national prospect, ends up committing to the Florida Gators, hits the transfer portal, winds up going to the Juco route. But what you're looking at here is Coach Prime needs to get Power 5 offensive line bodies. That's what he found with Issiah Walker. I mean, this is a guy who's 6'4", 310 pounds, a phenomenal athlete. There is a reason that this dude was a top 200 national prospect coming out of high school. He has the talent to be a solid offensive lineman, and this certainly is not going to be the last body they bring in on the offensive line. Want to get into Issiah Walker, what he can bring to the table, watch a little bit of the Juco film, and then talk about a few other targets that I think would make a lot of sense for Colorado to pursue in the transfer portal. Before we get into it, just want to say thank you to you guys. Again, the support for that you guys have shown, it really does mean a lot, and especially the Colorado fans. It's going to be a very busy next couple of months for Coach Prime in the transfer portal. We're going to be covering all of it, so appreciate you guys rocking with the boys. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate y'all rocking with the fellas, and let's get into Issiah Walker Jr. And what's so exciting about this is that's really the problem for the team. Like, Deion Sanders with a clean pocket and the weapons that he has, he is one of the better quarterbacks at the Power 5 level. I think that's abundantly clear to everyone. Even the Colorado haters have to admit Deion Sanders is really good. That being said, he is not nearly able to reach his potential because this offensive line just is not even close to being good enough. You go back to that UCLA game. Anyone who watched that game knew how poor it played. You look at the final numbers, 26 quarterback hurries. Deion Sanders was sacked 8 times. He was knocked down 9 times. And that probably leaves a few out where Deion Sanders is gone and playing the Houdini act and evading the pass rush. That is simply unacceptable from the offensive line. Deion said it in the press conference, like, this needs to get better. And he's aiming to get it better relatively quickly with Issiah Walker. Now, I want to get into Issiah Walker's film a little bit. This is a guy that kind of jumps out at the film where you're watching the Juco film. You can see why he was a 4-star prospect coming out of that 2020 class. Extremely good with his first step, really looks like a functional athlete, has that body that you want at the offensive tackle spot, looks really good in pass pro, right? Really good feet, uses that length, really, really strong, a good functional big athlete. And quite frankly, I think it's just a numbers game. Like, you got to continue to bring in this caliber of offensive line athleticism and body, and you're going to have an okay offensive line. I think the problem that Coach Prime and this Colorado program are going is they just don't have that many guys, so they don't have much competition in that room. You see, and you want to get the run game going, like a guy like Issiah Walker can certainly do that. He's a really good athlete, has a strong upper body. There's a lot to be excited about Issiah Walker, just absolutely washing this guy down. Keeps those legs churning, which you absolutely love to see. Really thick lower half, good in pass pro. He's kind of got that dog in him, which kind of excites you. Now, going to Issiah Walker, I kind of want to talk about what Coach Prime's, I think, methodology is going to be into addressing this offseason. Yes, he's going to get the high school recruiting class going as well. You know that there's going to be talent at the high school level that wants to go play for Colorado and Coach Prime. That being said, he's made it very clear he doesn't want to be very patient. Like, he wants to start winning right now. That's why you saw him go so heavy in the transfer portal his first year. That's why you're going to see him, quite frankly, go heavy in the transfer portal next year too, because there are obvious holes in this program that he needs to fill, and he doesn't want to wait 2 to 3 years to get a high school body in there, put on weight, develop them, and then they'll be ready by year 2 or year 3. He wants to win now. He did a phenomenal job in his first year. I think he's going to do an even better job year 2. I want to talk about just a few targets that Coach Prime could pursue at that offensive line position. Now, he's going to address everywhere on the football field. Like, he's going to continue to bring in talent and competition to this program. This is a program that's clearly more talented than it was in 2022. when Coach Prime wasn't there. That being said, the offensive line will be the top priority for this program. The first guy I want to go to is actually going to be from the high school class in 2024. That is five-star offensive lineman Jordan Seaton, who's expressed a ton of interest in Colorado. Now you're battling top programs, Ohio State, you're battling Oregon. The best thing you can sell Jordan Seaton if you're Coach Prime is this is a guy that can come in and start right away. Like a five-star body, extremely athletic. You're going to put on a little weight. Jordan Seaton probably doesn't start on the offensive line for Oregon or Ohio State right away. Probably waiting 2 to 3 years before he's seeing playing time. At Colorado, what Coach Prime can sell is you're going to be a factor for us year one because we need help at that position. Jordan Seaton, for sure, a body that I'm monitoring for Coach Prime to address in the transfer portal. The next guy I want to take a look at, and this is another really interesting target, very similar story to Issiah Walker, and that is Keontae Goodwin, right? This is a guy that was out of the 2022 class, played his true freshman year at Kentucky. He's a top 50 national prospect, a five-star offensive tackle in that 2022 class, played 1 year at Kentucky, transfers to Florida, ended up hitting the transfer portal again and sitting out this year. He's going to be in the transfer portal looking for a new home. And you talk about quality Division I, Power 5 offensive line bodies. Keontae Goodwin at 6'8", 340 certainly qualifies as that. And getting back to what you're going to see, it's going to be a numbers game. Like we're going to try to get as many of these offensive line Power 5 bodies as we can. And we're going to have a competition. We're going to have depth and we're going to have a lot of talent. And you're going to see a much better product on the offensive line under Coach Prime year 2 because they're going to get more talent and just quite frankly, more big functional bodies to compete at that offensive line position. It's going to heat up. I'm really excited to monitor and kind of track like we did last year, Coach Prime building this roster out. He's getting started with the Juco transfer, Issiah Walker Jr. Appreciate you guys rocking with the boys. Again, it's going to be a very, very busy next couple of months for Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. We're going to be covering it. Appreciate you rocking with the boys. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.